Hello. So this week came across an article from The Guardian that was dated September 10th, and it took place in England. There was a boy that was going to, it sounded like a Church of England school, who went to school wearing a dress. And the point of the article was about the family of another child that went to that school who decided to pull their child out because of this one boy coming to school in a dress. What they were protesting about was the fact that the school was pushing forward a transgendered agenda. And this article had a couple of things that bugged the hell out of me, and that's what this video is concerning. The fact of the matter that the parents are taking the child out of the school because there is a child there that is possibly transgendered, to me is disgusting, because the parents, who are supposedly Christian, and Christians are supposed to be loving, are teaching their child intolerance, and they're sort of condemning these parents of this child that is letting their child go to school how they feel to go to school, and sort of teaching that, sort of making it that the parents that are doing this are doing wrong for their child. In my eyes, what they are doing is, as I said, they are teaching intolerance to their own child. But this is the other thing that annoyed me about this whole story: the assumptions that are being made. What I mean is, there's this tendency to assume that because a boy goes to school wearing something that's quote-unquote feminine, that boy is automatically wanting to be a girl. I've noticed this has been happening with children that are younger. Could be kindergarten, first grade, second grade. This child sounded like they were in sixth grade, which is a little older. You know, I know when I was in sixth grade, I was realizing the differences between boys and girls. Hell, I realized that when I was in first grade. And what I was the deal with this child is, you know, sixth grade, this notion that he's automatically a girl, or automatically wanting to be a girl. I don't think this is the way to go on a continuous basis. I see this a lot. The parents of the child didn't really say whether he was boy or girl. He was just expressing how he wanted to be. Whereas the Christian family is automatically thinking he must be transgendered. And first of all, why the hate, or why the not really hate, but why the despising? And that's what it is. They're despising this child for coming to school in a dress. Also, these parents, this is not the first time these parents have done this. Apparently, in another school, their older child was subjected to a fellow student that came to school wearing a dress. Now, I'm not seeing what these dresses look like, and for all I know, these kids are goth. You know, they could be goth, and they're just doing the androgyny of goth. I don't know for sure. I'm just sort of hoping that's what it is. And it's just this notion. It's like, first of all, why can't a boy that wants to wear a dress, and that's not an insulting thing, by the way. I hear people using that as an insult, and it's not. Because if that's an insult, then why is a girl who wants to wear pants not an insult? And that's the thing. There are girls going to school with the choice of wearing pants, shorts, skirts, dresses. Boys get the choice of pants. In some schools, they're not even allowed to wear shorts. And this is ridiculous. But then again, we also have our silly dress codes for girls to not show their shoulders. Oh my God, how fucking terrible that they would show the fact their arms are attached to their body. It's like these dress codes and these kinds of things, that's another topic. When it comes to this situation, where a kid that is expressing something that is outside of their prescribed gender role, that the child is automatically considered transgendered. This is an error. And to me, this is an error. Because it's not... I'm an example. Okay? I would have liked to have worn a skirt or a dress to school at least a few times. But I was forbidden to. And I know that I would not have wanted to be a girl. I just wanted to have the same choices as girls did. So it's like, I think we really need to examine this. It's not that I'm anti-trans. This is also something that I get accused of for having this stance. No, it's not that I'm anti-trans. I am anti the what is it called when you have someone, over-prescription? Over-diagnosis of trans in children lately. This is like the new prescription or over-diagnosis of ADHD in every child that has a creative bone in their body. Let's put them on drugs. Well, that's kind of the same as what's happening with children wanting, usually boys, wanting to express outside the prescribed gender norms. And like I said, I'll use myself as an example. I had no desire to ever be a girl. I felt for a time that I would have a better time in life if I did transition, although I didn't even know what that was. That's my cat. She is throwing stuff around and destroying things, like cats do. So it's like, sorry, so what I want to know is, why is it that when a boy steps outside of the gender norms, they're automatically considered trans, but the same is not said about a girl? Why is a girl that chooses to wear pants or look like a boy, why is she considered a tomboy? And I know all of a sudden this is now an insult, which is just ridiculous. When I was a little kid, I hung around 2 tomboys, and they were great. They were fun, because they did the things the boys did. What I want to know is why there is a category for girls that want to do boy things and dress like a boy, but not want to be a boy. And there's no equivalent for a boy that wants to just wear styles that are normally associated with a girl. I do know there is a title for that. It's an insulting title, and that is sissy. And it is a big target for ridicule and hatred and not so pleasant things. So basically the whole gist of this is perhaps a re-examining or rethinking of this automatically thinking someone stepping outside gender norms is transgendered. Needs to be it just needs to be rethought, because I don't think everybody that does that is in fact trans, and I think it is actually harming the whole gender equality movement. And when I talk about gender equality, I'm not saying that boys and girls are the same or men and women are the same. I see this argument people make saying that men and women are different, and it's like, yeah, duh, they are different. But they're not different at the scale that everybody, or a lot of people, argue. That's kind of my point. You know, there were arguments being made for women being pilots that were disgusting. That basically they didn't have the brain. The brain wasn't big enough for them to comprehend the operation of this complex flying machine. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, is when we have these non-biological related limitations and rules that we put on people simply because of their genitals. And I do know that women are not as strong as men, although there are some women out there that are stronger than a lot of men. They're the exception to the rule. But yeah, so that's my video. If you have any input, please put it in the comments. And I hope we can work this. I hope the world can work on this, and people can gain more freedoms, but freedom in their expression. I think what it needs to be is the rules need to be rewritten. First of all, applying gender to things, applying gender to styles, applying gender to hair length, applying gender to what car you drive, all of that stuff. That's what needs to be fixed, I think. Remove gender from things and activities that have nothing to do with biology. So that's about it, and please leave a comment. Actually, I want to get my girlfriend's input on this. She's off to the side over here. So what is your input?
Well, you know, I agree about the whole non-gender specific when it comes to, like, you know, obviously what you wear and what you do and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just retarded. And here I am going to be mean and judgmental. But going back to the beginning story, the original story of the parents, okay, this shit pisses me off. This shit really pisses me off. Because one, okay, so the school let the boy the other boy in question wear a dress.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't pushing anything, they just let him wear a dress.
Mm-hmm.
So they let him wear what he wanted to wear. It's not hurting anyone, it's just a fucking clothes. He's wearing clothes, big fucking whoop, right? And so it's not like they're teaching any of this in school or anything. And the teachers, the parents still had a fucking heart attack because he was able to wear what and they don't agree. You know what it is, and it's often with these religious types, in this case, Christian, I'm assuming, they always want to shield their own child from anything that could possibly inspire the child or give them any ideas or change their worldview from what their parents' worldview is. Well, you know what? I got a little something for you, parents. Too fucking bad. Boo the fuck who. Your children are going to grow up and eventually see this shit anyway, and you can't do shit about it.
Right.
I get so fucking pissed off at parents like this. My fucking bitch-ass parents were like this. Luckily, I got to go to a fucking public school and got to be around, you know, regular people. You know, some people who, like, homeschool their children totally get to fucking brainwash their asses until they fucking get away from their fucking parents and learn about the real world. You know, I could see having a problem maybe if the teachers were, like, beating them down with stupid gender shit all day.
Yeah.
I could see them having a problem with that. I can't see them having a problem with another student decided to wear something. Oh, well, you know, how fucking stupid is that? How does that affect you other than, oh, my child saw it and I don't want them to get any ideas?
Well, what it was,
reason?
and this is the other thing, this is something I forgot to mention, is what happened is the Christian parent's boy went home and was saying how confused he was that a boy could be a girl. So once again, there was this assumption. You know, assumption of trans, and it's like...
well, then he is a kid, though, too.
Exactly.
Well, so he's not going to be as... not going to say that he's not bright. I'm not going to say that he's not able to understand. It's just that he hasn't been exposed enough to understand.
Right.
Or that it's just like, at that age, most children are, ew, you're a boy, ew, you're a girl, you have cooties kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they're not really that
well, it was 6th grade, so they're kind of getting out of that phase.
I was
they're like, ooh, girls are interesting. Oh yeah.
Oh, for some reason I was thinking this was like a grade school. For some reason in my head, because I think I had read something where it was like a kindergarten. Anyways,
There
whatever.
have been cases of kindergarten. Yeah.
So, sixth grade. Oh, you can just fuck the fuck off. You can, some parent can't dictate what other children wear. Oh, I don't like your goth style. I don't like your punk style. Oh, I think everyone should dress like this. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
Why doesn't your son, or was it a son?
Yeah.
Why don't your son just get over it? And
And the thing is, they're teaching their child intolerance, and we don't need more
most
freaking
parents
intolerance
teach
in
their
this world.
children intolerance in some way.
Well, yeah.
Because all parents get away, and not all parents do this, but as a parent, you're able to get away with a lot of bullshit. You can brainwash your kid into a lot of intolerant bullshit, and there's nothing anyone can do because you have, 1, parental rights, and 2, religious rights, which can be, if taken far enough, can be very detrimental. And is very abusive in a lot of ways.
Yes.
But no one seems to care because, 1, children don't have the right to vote or voice their opinion, and parents have all the power, so they don't really count. So that's always going to be the case until things change, which they're not going to change anytime soon, especially with other issues going on, other religions coming in. But so we're always going to run into this. If it's not the Christians, it's going to be the Muzzies. It's going to be some group getting all bitch ass, panties up in a bunch because their son or daughter saw something that they didn't agree with.
Right.
Same thing. What if it was like again, you've got the Christians crying about some guy wearing like a skirt or dress or whatever, his own fashion, which this other kid just needs to be like, oh, I don't get it, and then just fucking ignore it. Or the parents just say, just get over it.
Well, what the parents could have done is, instead of taking their child out, they could have said basically what I just said. Just because he's wearing a dress doesn't mean he wants to be a girl.
Yeah, but his parents don't think like
Exactly, they don't. They're intolerant. It's like, okay, I'm showing intolerance towards their intolerance, but you know what? Their intolerance to me is despicable.
Yeah.
It's not it's not what Christ would teach. Christ would not teach this. He would not teach this at all. And if you read the Bible, if they actually did read the Bible,
no one reads the Bible,
and they read the sections with Christ, they would see that Christ would not stand for this. Not stand for the boy coming to school in a dress. Not stand against the idea of transgenderism. No, stand against intolerance towards somebody for something that is so harmless. And yes, it is harmless. Okay? I think what's harming the world more is this overpopulation that we have in this world, is this proliferation of nuclear weapons, hello North Korea, and all of that. I think that's hurting the world more than, for crying out loud, a boy wearing a goddamn dress to school.
Well, it's an easy target, honey. You
Exactly.
can expect people to actually go after real issues.
This is very true. It is low-hanging fruit. That's what it is. It's let's attack what's easy instead of actually dealing with a problem. And the problem is, in this case, inequality. Girls can do a lot of things when it comes to self-expression. Boys cannot still. And that's how I'll end this video. And like I said, please leave comments down below, and I will leave a link to that article in question. Have a good day. Bye-bye.